Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Wait, I feel like I need to do something with this. Okay, that's better. So guys, you know that I am all about mindset training. Our mind is so incredibly powerful. And once I realized that and I have used that to help me just navigate life and get through challenges and find my way through hardships, then I realized that, see, we are not using our mindset to our fullest abilities. And part of that is because I don't think we really know how to develop a healthy mindset. There's not a lot of conversation around that happening right now. I want to revolutionize the conversation around mental health so we can talk about what exercises are good for us and what are some daily habits that we're already doing that if we just do them with more intention are going to help us to develop a stronger mindset and just be healthy, right? So I was actually having a conversation with my friend and also my co-host on our podcast, Unstuck on Purpose, my girl Lisa Landis. She's amazing, guys. Also go check out our podcast, Unstuck on Purpose. We are dropping new episodes every single week. So I was talking to her outside of all the goodness that we do together. And when I was talking to her, she helped me to realize something that I do innately. And it is part of the foundation of the exercise I teach, Stop and Shift. But I just didn't realize, I'd never really put into words exactly what I was doing. See, that's how you know you have really good friends around you and you have a good circle. When they can understand you and they can give you the words to describe your heart, like keep those people around you. Okay. So I was talking to Lisa and we were talking about how you can find the alternate path. And there are some things that you can do just in your everyday life that are going to help you to train your brain to see the alternate path. So here's an example. When I suddenly became a widow, I was just devastated, which a lot of us can find ourselves on this road for multiple reasons. Like you left a job or you were let go from a job or you had a miscarriage or you're struggling with being a stay-at-home mom and you're just feeling like you don't have a purpose. Like we just kind of hit this like path of doom and gloom and it feels really hard to manage. So whatever has gotten you there, that is real, right? We can all identify with that. How do we find an alternate path? How do we shift our brain to not just focus on the misery or the confusion or the overwhelm or the stress and get to a place that's healthier? Well, we have to find those alternate routes. And so what I realized is that I was able to kind of visually see that, but there are some people who cannot. When I was talking to Lisa, she said, oh, well, yeah, you could do exercises like if you go from your house to your school, obviously when we were going to school, but if you were going a normal route to school or to work or what have you, instead of just going the normal left, right, straight, down the loop, whatever, you instead come out and you go a different route to get to the same destination. That's literally taking your mind on a journey of finding an alternate route and you're driving it. So it's physically happening, which is ingraining a memory, which changes the neuroplasticity in your brain. So doing something that is already ingrained in your day, switching it up a little bit, finding an alternate route helps you when big things happen and they try to mess up your life or your day or what have you, right? When you hit those huge disruptions in life, because you've been training your brain with these little exercises, then your mind will start to look for the alternate path and you'll be able to find your way off of that path of destruction. Now, another example of this could be like you're cooking and maybe you don't have all of the ingredients. Okay, maybe you do, but you could act like you don't have one or two. So you can figure out a different way to make the same recipe. I mean, there are so many things that you can do just to find an alternate route. And I had been doing this like routinely, like it just, I don't know why it has downloaded in me innately, but I don't take that for granted. And now I am even more conscious of when I do that. And so I have an example from the other day that I want to share with you. I was in the shower and Caleb was doing his math homework and he has a video that he's watching while he was doing it. Now, there were some shapes that need to be drawn and typically to make sure that the shapes are, you know, the right shape and the right scale, I will draw them out for him. But I was in the shower, so he was knocking, he was like, Mom, I need for you to draw these shapes. So I'm like, clearly I'm in the shower, Caleb. I'm not going to be doing that right now. So I said, why don't you get your whiteboard and you can draw the shape there? Because even if you mess up, you know, you can erase it a lot easier instead of erasing the pencil that's already on your paper. You can just use the whiteboard as kind of like a scratch piece of paper or area. And so he was like, oh, okay. So what happened in that moment was our routine had been for me to draw the shapes. An obstacle came into place. I was in the shower. And so I gave him an alternate route. So I'm teaching my son how to do do this, not realizing that that's what I'm doing, but it's pretty cool because now I see that there's so many opportunities for us to do that and for us to teach our kids how to do that. So Caleb goes about and he's like doing his math problem. So then maybe 2 or 3 minutes later, I hear Caleb say, "Mom," and I'm waiting for him to finish his sentence, but I don't hear anything after that. And so I said, "Bud, did you call me? Like, I'm almost done in here." And so he said, "Oh, actually, I figured out another way that I could do it." Such a proud mom moment, because after I told him to do the whiteboard just a few minutes earlier, I realized that I was teaching him the alternate path, and I was like happy. I was like, "Oh, okay, hey Karen, you're already doing this. Like, you got this. Be more intentional about that. That'll really help to train his brain." And then 2 minutes later, he walked himself through it. Guys, see, here's what I'm saying. We have the opportunity to train our brains. We can do it. We can teach our kids how to do it. And it's not this like big grand gesture. Yes, doing that inner work and, spending time journaling or, watching videos like this, working with a coach, all those big things, yes, those matter. But these little moments, that is how you are getting reps. You know how you work out in the gym and you have to do so many reps with a certain exercise for you to actually see the results? Same thing with your brain. We have to do reps of this. We can't just do it once a week and think, "Oh, I'm going to be mentally stronger and I'm going to be able to get through anything." Like, no, you actually need to do this throughout your day. Pay attention to those and capitalize on those opportunities. And honestly, after I did that with Caleb, I started to think to myself, okay, how many times have I actually done this in my life? And how was I able to find the alternate path? Because this is something that I want you guys to know everybody can do. I need you to know that it doesn't matter where you are or what you are going through right now. There are things that you can be doing in your everyday life that's going to help you become mentally stronger. Mental health is for everyone. We all have these crazy stories in our head. We have these anxieties, we have fears, we have doubts. We all go through the exact same thing. And honestly, side note, if anything good has come from this COVID-19 pandemic, let me say that again, pandemic, we are all coming to even playing ground. I think that this has just brought us all down to the same space. And so we know what it feels like to be stressed and overwhelmed and trying to balance everything or figure out your next step. We are now living in the same storm. So internally, we know what it feels like to be going crazy. That is mindset work. That is mental health work. So here's my point. I was like off on a tangent for a second, sorry. I was trying to think about all of these examples in my life of when I was able to see the alternate path so that I can tell you and teach you from real life experiences. So here's another example that I thought about. When I lost my job, and I've talked about this before, listen, after I lost my husband, it was a ripple effect of a whole bunch of other things that were happening, okay? And losing my job was like the last straw that broke the camel's back. I was devastated. I mean, like, I didn't think I could get any lower. So when I lost my job, I realized though in that moment that I was able to find the alternate path. I knew that this layoff was going to put me back, that it was going to be really hard. I accepted the fact that my confidence had been rocked. I mean, it was devastating, okay? Because now as a single parent, how am I going to provide for my kid? I mean, I spiraled, okay? But then I noticed that this was an opportunity to change directions and to build a career that I actually love and do work that gives me energy. So instead of being so offended and being so angry at losing my job, yes, I was sad, I was frustrated, I was really confused and not really sure what direction to go. But then once I saw that alternate path, then it gave me hope. It helped me to work towards something that was giving me energy. It was drawing me in. It didn't feel like it was a chore. It was like, no, I actually want to pursue this. If I had never opened my mind up to see that alternate path, I would not be doing the work that I am today. And so I just feel like if we start looking at all of these challenges as opportunities to see an alternate path and continue to flow with life, you are going to feel so much better about anything that you are living through, even the devastation and the craziness and the uncertainty of a global pandemic. I got it that time. Notice how I just let it roll. So maybe you didn't lose your job, but maybe you're trying to figure out like, how am I going to pivot my business? That is another great example of how to find an alternate path. You are still going to serve your audience with your talents and your gifts to your fullest capacity. Now it's just changed on how you're meeting them or where you're meeting them. But a great example of that is physical trainers. So I actually imagined, what would it look like if Richard was living through this? And at this point, he would have had his CrossFit for like 7 years. And you guys know how it is. If you work out at a gym and you have connections with other people, you look forward to that time. You know, that exercise time is like a mental break for you, but it's also a time of community. Unless you're somebody who likes to go by yourself, which I understand. But if you're in a CrossFit, you enjoy that community atmosphere. So what would he have done in this situation? Well, he would have been still meeting at the exact same times of his class. He just would have been doing it from our garage. He would have had something set up and made sure that his members knew that there were different variations of each exercise, so that whether you had equipment or not, you were still getting a good workout. Nothing would have changed with the way that he was connecting with his people, except for the environment, but the information he was giving them, how he was helping them, he literally would have been like, oh, okay, no problem. We're still going to meet at the same times. You're going to stay in your routine. You know that you need this, and I'm just going to do this from my garage, and you guys hop on whatever, Google Meets or Zoom or whatever. There are so many businesses that can do this. It's not just physical training. It's not just coaching and speaking. There is a virtual space, I believe, for almost every business. And so now you just have to get a little creative. There are so many opportunities for us to find alternate paths. And when we do that in our day-to-day, whether it is a drive to the grocery store, making a new recipe, like trying to figure out another way to get through your routine through the day because some challenge has come up, all that little stuff trains you for the big stuff. When you lose your job, when you pivot your business, any of this, guys, like it builds on each other. I hope you're feeling the energy right now, because when I had this conversation with Lisa, I was thinking to myself, I gotta tell everybody about this. I want everybody to see the opportunity in your day-to-day life to build your mindset. The time is here. I feel like sorry, saw a piece of lint. You may have seen it too, but the time is here and the time is now to work on your mental health. Your mindset is your greatest asset. You're gonna hear me say that time and time again because it's so true. It doesn't matter what is going on in the world around you. If you have your mindset, you have everything. All right, guys, well, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. I sure do appreciate it. Also, if you want more information like this, if you wanna learn how you can build a really strong mindset and get through any kind of challenge, big or small, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell because I'm giving content like this every single week. And if you have any questions or you just need a little help on trying to build a strong mindset and maybe change some of those habits and the negative thinking, drop it in the comments below because we're all going through this. And I'm sure other people would really appreciate to see that maybe what they're thinking and what they're struggling with is really common. So I hope you have a wonderful week and I will see you in the next video. I think I love this hat. Like, I think that I should just do this all the time. Can I just be Karen with a hat? I think this might be my thing, my new logo.